Hello and welcome to the Design for Modern Living show. My name's Ben Rousseau, and today we're all the way to England to see a good friend of mine, James Perkins, and his wonderful property, Aynhoe Park. One of the most spectacular collections of antiquity, art, design, and curiosities you are ever likely to see. James, how are you?
Yeah, great, Ben. Good to hear from you. We could do definitely a bit of your sunshine over here at the moment. January, it's always cold, hence the fire's on.
Oh, well, that's lovely to see. What a stunning building. Actually, really making me miss the wonderful historical buildings we're so lucky to have in so many parts of the UK. Tell us a bit about the history of the building and how you came to own this majestic property.
Well, this was built in 1615. So what is that, 406 years ago? And it's had a few different architects working on it, namely Thomas Archer. But the one that I think's made a real dent on the interior of the main building is Sir John Soane. I mean, that's not to say Thomas Archer didn't do some genius things, because we have two wings, the stables and the domesticated staff and kitchen area in the West Wing. And I'm currently stood in the entrance hall, which was actually the snooker hall originally in the first iteration of the house, because they turned the house around insofar as they moved the driveway. So I'm in currently the Soane entrance hall.
Okay.
So yeah, and but it's a very special house.
What sort of work did you have to do to it when you took it on to make it suitable for modern living?
Take out the avocado bathrooms. For those of you in America, I don't know if you know what that is or whether that's even still trendy over there. I think it's actually almost come back round again. But yeah, it's a lot of very dated interiors from the 1960s. And everything was painted a sort of Wedgwood blue or a bright red or a grandma yellow.
Well, James, I know there's some big changes happening for you guys, and you've got the auction going on. Can you tell us a little bit about what's happening at the moment, and then some future plans? What's next for you guys at Aynhoe Park, you and your family?
Well, we're moving down to a place called Parnum Park, which is another, even older house, built around 1500.
Wow.
And again, had a myriad of different architects on it. But that's been in a fire, and it's got no roof. So I'm working from a design point of view and architect's point of view with a very exciting company called Thomas Heatherwick Studio.
Amazing.
And they're a firm of creatives. Thomas isn't actually an architect. He's a creative. So it makes him think outside the box in a way that traditional architects don't think. And I've just come off a 2-hour Zoom call with him, talking about and presenting to the council the new ideas. And yeah, I think we're on a path together, which is going to mean we're going to bring that whole estate back to life.
Is it ideas as elaborate? Because Thomas Heatherwick was responsible for the Olympic cauldron and the flames fanning down, if anyone actually knows that, 2012 Olympics. Is your
and
ideas
the British bus
ambitious?
Absolutely, very ambitious. I mean, my brief was I want to see a roof terrace. I want this sort of diamond cut window, because there's a whole elevation missing. And the brief was Batman meets James Bond. Now, there'll be all sorts of things on the roof that you wouldn't expect. There'll be a garden on the roof. And then the idea is a circular swimming pool and all sorts of different secret doors.
Fantastic. James, I can see some amazing things in the background. I would love to show some of the viewers. You know, you've got the unicorn behind you. You've got an auction going on, haven't you? So can you tell us a little bit about the auction,
so
some of the key pieces?
Let me turn you around. Can you see?
We can see that, yeah.
Great. So this is that's called British Isles. That's based upon some great friends of mine, two brothers that are twins, and they conceived this idea, and I sort of commissioned it to go above the fireplace here in the entrance hall to signify the minute you come through the house that it's a house of wonders, and if you like, the best of British eccentricities, with all the eccentricities that go with that in our history as a nation. You've got a Murano modern chandelier by Barova and Tosso. That's incredible. I mean, it's something like 8 feet tall.
Amazing.
And then you've got the coat of arms, which is a unicorn and a polar bear. And it's the unicorn, of course, it's on top of a Bechstein piano. You can see a tag on there because of the auction that's coming up next Wednesday. And then you've got the polar bear. So he's also very famous. Lots of people have been sat on the back of him.
Right. Where did you get a polar bear from, James? How, you got these amazing key pieces. How do you plan? Does it come up in as someone notifies you as a polar bear? You'd love this, James. I mean, how do you select these?
Just was walking past one day. Yeah, just walking past one day. I'd ordered a box of Fox's Glacier Mints, and in came the polar bear. It was free. No, and then you'll see all these architectural casts that I collect. So these are all rather interesting. And
tell us a bit more about that, James, because that's from quite a young age. That's been a big interest of yours, hasn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, I'm walking through into the salon now. Yeah, no, I've been collecting plasters since I was 15. Oh, here's something you might like to see. I've been collecting all these casts, and I just got fascinated from the age of about 14 with architecture, and I couldn't afford a house, so I could have a little fragment of decoration, architectural fashion, and built my collection up to some 6,000 pieces. This is something else we make, which is a feather lamp as well.
Okay.
Cool thing. But I thought you might like to see this, which is in the park today.
Okay.
So we have the unicorn in the stag world. I'm not sure how clear it is, but you have the white ones that are out there are all male. A couple of them are fighting at the moment. But it's the biggest herd in the world of red deer that are white. And that white pigmentation is 1 in 10,000 are white. You can see, you probably can't see it far away.
I can see a few dots of white. I can see a few dots
right,
of white.
Okay, sorry, yeah. So anyway, coming back into the house and talking about the plaster, let's go through to the orangery. Oh, this is a rather cool piece, a lectern of the sun, and that's rather amazing.
Who did that?
In the sale. Paul Fryer.
Who's that? Paul Fryer.
My friend Paul Fryer.
Yeah.
We're coming in now to the bar, one of my favourite spots. But as you can see, can you see this clearly?
Yeah, we can see all of that. So James, just keen to get a bit more of a background to you're having a bar in the house, all these amazing artifacts. Can you tell us a bit more about how the house functions on a kind of daily basis or on a weekly basis?
The team, the staff, there's a staff of some 40 people here now, and they have to open the house up, open up all the shutters, and the chef will go and get the bread and come in, and then then the butlers arrive and they polish all the silver and get all the plates ready for breakfast, and just going about the daily duties, which is cleaning and hoovering, polishing, and then getting the house ready for the family, or even guests when we're allowed to do that, which has been obviously a long time.
Yeah.
But it's a fun scene, and then there's a full-time person just dealing with the logs,
right?
Because that's especially in this time of year. There's something like 6 or 8 fires that we actually use full time, and it makes a big difference to the atmosphere of the house in January.
I'm sure. Now I'm looking at this room, and for people that don't know Aynhoe, and this is what was so special for me to kind of talk to you about the house and the property. Some of these amazing things, like the giraffe hanging from the ceiling there. Some of these plasters, they're from some of the most famous, iconic buildings in the world. And you've got them sat there next to a sofa, which I know is by Zaha Hadid, and it's this That's amazing mix and collection of pieces, and how somehow they all sit so nicely together. I know you have weddings and you have people hiring the place for events. Can you tell us a bit more about how they would use the property with some of these pieces in?
So there's so much to talk about. Let me.
Of course.
So first of all, you've got Gerald the giraffe. He's the flying giraffe. He's the famous giraffe that I created as an art piece, I don't know, some 8 or 9 years ago now. And he's become synonymous with the house. He's a playful creature. That's going to be in the sale. I think it's only in at 10 to 15,000, so that's a bargain for someone to take away on the day.
Yeah, I nearly had it tattooed on me at your wedding.
Actually, somebody else did have it tattooed on them.
Brilliant.
So onto the plasters. Well, they are from some of the most important British houses. These are the original masters that were made to actually cast these pretty decorations on the wall, and they come in sections for some of these houses, and some of the names are on there, like you can see House of Lords, etc.
Yeah.
The other art piece is this one, which is the Aynhoe Moon, another one of my creations. It's the last one in an edition that I did, and that's in at 4,000 to 6,000, I think. But I'm hoping it's going to do quite well. But it's a beautiful thing. That's all about my desire to travel, the modern grand tour in the future, going to the moon. And then here you've got the Triceratops. Now, he's probably one of the stars of the show because he's 65 million years old, and he's doing pretty well. He's in pretty good condition for that age. Sometimes I feel in worse order than him. So, he's a... And then you've got the Erection, the piece of the Caryatids at the top, that giant piece there, sculpture there, which came from the Metropolitan Museum in New York.
Okay, wow.
It's just all these little treasures that I've collected over the last years. I mean, you've got these giant sofas. This is by John Makepeace. He's a famous British furniture designer. Yeah. That would interest you, Ben.
Yeah, absolutely.
That amazing desk, and I forget who that's by, but that's an amazing handcrafted desk, a copy of one that's £200,000, and that's just in at 10 to 15, I believe. This is another artist friend of mine, Bouke de Vries, Exploding World. I bought this, would you believe, 10 years ago, and it pretty much signifies today, doesn't it?
It does indeed. James,
especially in America.
James, just wondering, have you ever come down and find the kids have been playing football in there and booted a ball and knocked something down and smashed some priceless thing on the floor? I mean, do you get any...
I'm quite lucky. Lion did break his first window about 3 weeks ago, but he went straight to his money box and gave me £20, which I thought was very decent of him. And I did remind him if he did it in the house, it would be a lot more expensive and he wouldn't have any pocket money until he was at least 18, given his age. It just definitely got through.
Well, that's a pretty good going.
Yes, we're going to walk through now to the dining room where I'm going to show you some. I'll tell you what also wonderful, these. Your viewers might like these.
Incredible.
They're really nice. By Jacques de Valbrasseur, and it's who we think they're by, but they're just the most wonderful quality. And I think they're going to be a star piece in the show.
Can you go a little closer to them, James? Could you go a little closer to those pieces, just so you can see some of the detail in them? Beautiful. And just, I'm just a sucker for modern things. What are those two cabinets by the doors? They're two very modern-looking cabinets, which, a few of these pieces, they're rather beautiful. At 20 to 25,000, they are very collectible. And then in here, something that's a very quintessentially English is my eccentric ancestors. This chap that looks like he's been in a bazaar in Turkey or Morocco. And then you've got this chap up here, Lionel. He's he's the ringleader, the ringmaster from the circus. How do you kind of curate these rooms and spaces? Because they all look like they're kind of held together with kind of some sort of theme. I mean, it kind of works wonderfully well. And every time I come to the house, it looks different. So how do you go about choosing and putting these things together? Do you kind of get a new piece, a new collection, or a new item, and think, that's going to work with all these bits?
Yeah,
or
pretty much. You just walk past the bear, and then you've got one of the wags here. Look how amazing he is. Now he died in what's called the rut, which is around about this time of year where the males fight.
Okay.
This is by Beth Carter. She's another amazing artist. I'm a Taurus, so I bought this because it's a Minotaur. Love that. And then you've got the Golden Rhino, which is another art piece, which is all about demonstrating that the ivory and the horn of these wonderful creatures, they get killed for the horn, and
criminal.
That would be £150,000. And then now we come into my office.
Would you say, sorry, that this is your kind of special piece, or your favourite? Your real favourite?
No, I think everything's my favourite. I think things that might get damaged come in here.
Right.
I mean, it's the only library you'll see with a car climbing up the wall, and a giraffe.
And that famous chair, James. Just
yes, the judge's chair.
Yeah.
And that's in the auction. That's going in the auction.
No way. See, that chair is what I associate you with the house. There's some kind of iconic
key pieces.
Key pieces. So, in fact, some of those photographs I think are in one of the downstairs powder rooms or bathrooms, and be interesting to see that. Can I just ask?
Look at this. Is Battersea Power Station upside down as a desk?
Oh wow! Oh yes, of course. That is absolutely brilliant. I mean, whose is this one? Oh, that might be someone I know very well.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
So
Gold
Ben, you created
CCT.
that. I thought it was absolutely amazing. Lots of people always want to buy that, but I said that wasn't for sale. So there we go.
Fantastic. James, who are you expecting to purchase these items from? I mean, who are you promoting the auction to?
Well, I think that let's go back to me now. I think that we, I mean, we're very careful about our clients' privacy, but I would think, it'll be a reflection of some of the people that have had celebrations here. I think there'll be a number of collectors looking to purchase pieces that I've created because it's the end of an era. And I think like the giraffe, for example. But I mean, this amazing piece, the table based upon,
I love
is
that.
an incredible piece. I mean, that's the series. That's the first one in the series, and I I paid for that first one for them to make. Then they photographed it, and then that series sold out in a couple of months. And
yeah, I'd love one.
There are some very special personal items to me, like the Big Ben maquette over there. But at the same time, I think that this has attracted some international interest. Other than what's going on in politics in the world at the moment, we seem to be the happy story out there.
Well, it's like a museum for modern living, isn't it? You're surrounded by some of these amazing collectibles, but you still live here. You have a normal life. You have a wife and kids. You go about your daily business. It just happens to be in a house that is kind of like a museum of interchanging pieces, which are, fill you with wonder and have a story to tell. So anyone that comes,
well, that's it. That's the thing I enjoy doing, is the story to tell. But I'm forever getting offered interesting pieces, and the problem is, it all has to come in. I'm not very good at saying no. So the one joy I'm having out of the thought of having this auction is it means I can go shopping again because I've got an empty room in the new house. But of course, I need to put a roof on it first because there's no roof down there. Oh, look, the golden egg. That's the other one of my art pieces there. It's this giant nest that I created with the golden egg, which signifies so many things in life, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Now, James, you've got the. I would love to show some of the viewers the staircase and the giant Hercules, yes. And I wondered.
Yeah, so he's another art piece I created called Birthday Suit, because you'll see why, because he's naked. But anyway, here we are.
Yeah, I mean, that is, that's just, it's got to be one of the most impressive staircases. I mean, what in the property is the one that gets the most kind of attention when you've got the guests coming in for the first time? What's the big one that's, the big eye opener?
I think it's either the giraffe. It's certainly the Hercules. Yeah. Sometimes my cleaners keep telling me they have to remove bits of lipstick off certain parts. So I don't know. I think it probably is Hercules. It might be the giraffe. I'm certainly the red chair if you end up in there late at night with me.
There's Tintin. Amazing.
Yeah.
And with the games room, I've just lost my bearings. There we are.
Games room. But we've changed the chandelier to put this big light fitting in, and okay. I mean, it's as you can see, this is. Let's go through to the kitchen. This is where it gets quite cool.
And so, James, how many pieces have you got in the auction?
600 lots. That's probably about 3,000 pieces.
How many rooms has the place got? How many bedrooms does it operate
41 bedrooms, probably 50 bathrooms.
God. And how much do you use of it? What percentage of the house do you use as your family home, and what do you?
Well, I mean, it depends what day it is, what day of the week it is. At the moment we're using quite a lot of it, but I have to confess that we spend a lot of time here in the kitchen now because obviously we have the chef and we have the fire on, and the kitchen is the heart of the house, and the children's playroom and TV room is nearby. So we've been enjoying this. But of course, when in other times when we're busier and everyone's allowed to come to work, then obviously sitting in the library and other parts of the house being helped by some of the team is also rather lovely. So, for example, the entrance hall, sitting in front of the fire there. But these these are fantastic things, fireplaces, in that, in winter months, which probably you don't have so much of where you are, is a joy to be around a crackling fire.
I was thinking, if my gran was here, she'd be watching this thinking, oh gosh, what a place to heat, wouldn't want the heating bills,
No, you don't want, nobody wants a heating bill, including me.
And, is there any kind of key moments over the last kind of, how long have you had the property? Because, what are you going to miss about years? Not living there? 15 years. So what's been I'll
tell you what, I'm not
some of the highlights?
Some of the lowlights, I'm not going to miss the bills. Right. I'm not going to miss the cleaning bills, especially. All the oil bills, all the log bills.
That place.
Well, we have about 12 Hoovers here. Just so I'm interested.
All going at once, are they?
Well, people in different areas, you see, because every day you collects dust. But what am I going to miss? I'm going to miss pulling in the driveway.
Right.
I guess I'm going to miss my red chair. I'm going to miss the wonderful memories. But of course, I suppose in many ways you take those with you. But we had the craziest busy year ahead, and we had some fantastic celebrations booked in, and so it's disappointing that the year has panned out as it has. But, we made this decision to sell a year ago. So, we were COVID ready. We were ahead of the curve. And, I think it's rather sad, actually, sad state that we're all in, but keeping it positive. I think there's a great opportunity for people to come and to buy at Drewetts, which is the auction house. And I think it's, if you like, the sale of the century. It's full of all of that British art, design, and all eccentric things put together. And I think it's something that really is a reason why we became the best venue in the world and won that accolade last year. So
that's amazing.
Although it's a sad time, it gives me a chance to start and open up the next chapter, the Parnham Adventures, which will be coming to you soon. And so maybe we'll catch up when we go there.
Oh, absolutely! I can't wait to see it. Will that be a kind of similar idea that you've got the collection of these amazing oddities around you that can be for sale, because you trade them. You buy things and then you sell them on, and other collectors decide they're interested in some of these pieces. It's a kind of that's part of the fun by purchasing and moving on. Is the collection about? Do you have a vision of key pieces that you want to kind of own, or is it just something presents itself to you and you say, oh, I'm interested in that?
Yeah, well, I'm going down in the future. I'm going down a Jurassic route because it's on the Jurassic coast. This house.
Okay, brilliant.
And I sort of feel that there is I love old crates and things, so it'll be full of old crates and treasures, and it'll feel like I've just come off a ship full of bounty.
Fantastic.
And so that area is kind of known for pirates. All pirates in the UK that we all know so well around the world all came from Devon and Cornwall and Dorset. And so there's going to be a bit of the swashbuckling buckling aspect to it. I've got a megalodon being made for me.
No way.
20 foot long, and it's going to hang from a rope from the ceiling in part of the house behind a door somewhere. But it's going to have to be a giant space because they're so big.
James,
and it might have to be 30 feet. So who knows? There's lots of ideas that are in the offing at the moment, and there's going to be lots of immersive theatre, and it's going to be very playful.
When we're talking about theatre and drama and storytelling, can you tell me a bit about your background, something in the music scene and stuff? Just because that whole thing comes to identify, it's part of how Aynhoe's grown. And can you just tell me a bit more about the backstory?
Yeah, sure. I started organising parties when I was 15, and I set up a brand called Fantasia when I was 21 in 1990. I did a party called Perception. Then I went on and did Fantasia at the Eclipse. And these were giant legal raves and all the latest DJs, all the latest music. When I was 21, I did one for 28,000 people at Castle Donington called One Step Beyond.
21.
And then I went on to do had a record company after that, and we sold 4 million albums. And, we we had a great time, and I'm still dabbling a little bit in doing sort of events backstage and doing the ultimate backstage event. And we're going to do something down at the new place. So watch this space.
Fantastic. I mean, and that's something about some of the characters, certainly that I've met and become good friends with you. We've got this amazing network of people that come to the house, DJs, celebrities, collectors, artists. It's always anything that I've been, even from the supper clubs to some of your birthday parties. It's been this amazing mix of people, and I think everyone takes away these crazy experiences when they come from Aynhoe or when they have a weekend. Is there any is there any couple that kind of really, I mean, obviously the wedding for you, but is there any kind of key events over the last 15 years that you've gone, you know what, that really stands out? That was a special one.
Yeah, we had Liam Gallagher staying once. That was pretty good. And actually, when Noel Gallagher stayed, that was also quite fun for his 50th. But I couldn't possibly comment on the detail. But yeah, I mean, taking people off flying giraffes, where they're trying to ride on them, or the rocking horse zebra, seemed to be a weekly occurrence.
Okay.
But the fun was mostly had when we went down to the club. And I don't know what happens down there, but it's like the land where time stands still. Before you know it, it's the morning time, and you're sort of trundling up in disgrace and thinking, where did all the time go?
And how do you police, because people must get a bit carried away, trying on, peacocks on their head or what,
Yeah. Well, we used to have a dressing up box in the bathroom, the ladies. Right. And it's pretty much stripped bare now. There's one coat left because people would often walk out with them on. And But, that was all part of the charm. It was part of my childhood love of a thing called a TV series called Mr. Ben. You came in here with one attitude and you went out with a completely different, and whoever you wanted to be, it was your alter ego when you left.
As if by magic, the shopkeeper appeared.
Right. Is that because that was kind of what I was going to get to next? Do you kind of feel that you take on this character because, people associate you with the house, whether they're coming for a wedding or a party or whether they're just coming to stay for dinner? I mean, you've kind of got this, you are a character. You're like Mr. Ben.
Yeah, I'm not taking on a character. That's who I am. And I enjoy watching people. It's not I. I like listening, and my wife and I both like entertaining people, and I love listening to other people's stories. They probably have to listen to one of mine where my wife rolls her eyes and says, "Oh, not that one again." But the reality is, my brain's only so big. Store so many memories before they all get deleted. Sure. But we've had some amazing friends, and from our wedding, just globally, with people that I just have a special place in my heart. And so what Aynhoe's done is enabled me to pick up a few thousand more of just the most incredible people I wouldn't normally have met. And the world is full of some amazing characters. It might not feel it like right now when we're watching CNN or reading in the paper. It's almost like everybody's falling foul of this illness, but actually there are so many wonderful people out there.
Absolutely. Speaking of wonderful people, the kids and Sophie, how are they all doing, and how's Sophie's input on the new direction of the house? Because she can help you shape that from the beginning, whereas Aynhoe, that started more with your direction to start with, and then towards the end she kind of can have her input.
I think she wants to have a say so. She's going to have some sort of say so in the War Garden restaurant. She wants to renewables. I think that's something that she's really keen on, and as long as it's efficient, I'm happy to get involved with that.
Brilliant.
She sees this as a very playful place, very swallows and Amazons. It's very magical, the setting there. I'll be sneaking things through the back door and say, "Oh no, that's always been here. It's from the area. It must stay." And she's going to say, "Well, where did you find that?" I think she kind of knows, but anyway, it's going to be an interesting journey. Watch this space. It's like clash of personalities, but actually, I think we complement each other in that respect, because she does actually like secretly what I like.
Of course, cool. Well, I'm sitting in here in one of my bubble chairs, which when I created was exactly for a place. Thank you. It was exactly for a place, like Aynhoe, and the outside area where you can sit there and watch the stags running around.
Well, we're going to, listen, I'll let you know into signal. We're going to have, it's a secret, we're going to have some of those. We're building a circular pool on the terrace, and fantastic. They will look fantastic.
Made for it. Absolutely made for it. Well, James, I think we've covered so many things, and it's been so much fun to catch up and talk again. And as always, just, see what's going on with your work and collections, and just generally chew the conversation. I'm just going to ask.
Well, look, come back same time next week. We can do it again.
Because sure.
We've only just begun. I reckon I could do 7 episodes with you. Be easy talking to you, Ben.
James, I was just going to say, lastly, one of the bedrooms, could you just give us a show one of the bedrooms? Is there one that's open, that's, as in one of the guest bedrooms? Because they're all, they've got this wonderful theme. And, this story is about modern living, and we've seen some of the kitchen, seen some of the house. It's always nice to see a bedroom in a place like this, because, I've come as a guest and a friend, and it's all part of the experience, coming up to bed in one of the themed bedrooms. So really fun to see that and show the viewers what a bedroom looks like in a place like this. Yeah, so this is look at the bed. I mean, can you tell us about a bed like that?
I was commissioned by the Rothschild family for a house.
Wow.
I think it cost a small fortune. And then they didn't want it. So I bought it 20 years ago. This is the view outside. Of course, there's a mirable in the tree.
Of course. Is this the west wing, James, or is...
No, this is the main master bathroom, but it's
right.
This has another room called the dressing room that goes with it, but we've converted that into another room. So there's 2 bathrooms, or 3 bathrooms here, but the other one is here.
Amazing. It's so beautiful to see all this detail. I mean, I've come to California where I absolutely love classic design from the 70s and 80s, and no lines, simple straight lines and details, but actually coming in to see all these classic period details is just it's so heartwarming every time we come to the property. There's just so much character in every direction you look.
And this is a bit of you. This reminds me of the Delano.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Somebody in up there.
Beautiful.
Okay, is that good, Ben?
James, it's amazing. It's been really wonderful talking to you. Give my love to Sophie and the kids, and we can't wait to see you soon. We're going to wish you all the best with the auction. I'm sure it's going to do amazing. There was a Hera chair, I think, based upon chair on the staircase, which I've got my eye on.
That's cool. That's a gift they gave me, actually. I don't know why I shouldn't be selling that, but anyway.
Yeah, it's...
just needs polishing, actually. It would look amazing.
Yeah, well, I can see that looking good in my house. Again, I might have to not tell Michelle about that one, but it's there you go. It's a fond favorite of mine.
Okay.
All right, James. Thanks so much for your time. Take care. So that was James Perkins. That was Aynhoe Park. Absolutely magical building. You've been watching the Design for Modern Living show. I've been Ben Rousseau. We look forward to seeing you again. Thanks for joining us. Bye-bye.